Hey Cowboys Nation, let's go for another round of news from America's team. Watch until the end so you don't miss any news and sign up to stay tuned for everything that comes out about the Cowboys.
Cowboys in danger of holdout from potential $115 million star, report. Just when fans thought the Dallas Cowboys offseason could not go much worse, the team is now in danger of a potential holdout from CeeDee Lamb. The Dallas Morning News' Michael Gehlken reported that Lamb is not expected to participate in off-season workouts unless a new contract extension is reached. Keep in mind, the majority of these spring and summer workouts are voluntary, but this could present an issue if no new contract is in place ahead of Week 1. The Cowboys will start their spring workout program April 15, Gehlken wrote in an April 8, 2024 story titled, "A Potential Holdout by CeeDee Lamb Looms for the Dallas Cowboys." Barring a contract extension that, when complete, is expected to make Lamb the highest-paid wide receiver in NFL history, Lamb won't take the field. At least, that is the precedent he appears certain to follow. Lamb's agent, Tory Dandy, did not respond to a request for comment on whether Lamb will accompany teammates at Ford Center at the Star for the Cowboys' spring workouts. But of course, Dandy and Lamb are aware attendance is voluntary for the bulk of spring. Here's what you need to know about Lamb's contract status. Cowboys rumors. CeeDee Lamb's market value is a 4-year, $115 million deal. Lamb's 4-year, $14 million rookie contract has ended, but the Cowboys picked up the wideout's 5th-year option for 2024. The star is slated to have a $17.9 million salary for this season but would potentially be eligible to be a free agent in 2025. Lamb is seeking a long-term contract extension and is headed for a significant raise. The star could be approaching an average salary of close to $30 million. Lamb is likely to point to a career season where the receiver posted 135 receptions for 1,749 yards and 12 touchdowns in 17 starts during 2023. Spotrac projects Lamb's market value to be a 4-year, $115.4 million deal. This would give Lamb an average annual salary of $28.8 million. For context, Miami Dolphins star wideout Tyreek Hill signed a 4-year, $120 million deal. This gave the Dolphins receiver an average annual salary of $30 million. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones made interesting comments about CeeDee Lamb's. All this comes as Dak Prescott and Micah Parsons are among the Cowboys who are in line for sizable extensions. Prescott's projected market value is a 4-year, $203 million contract. Parsons' market value is also significant with a 4-year, $101 million projected deal. The bill is coming due for the Cowboys on several of the team's current star players. Oddly, owner Jerry Jones openly debated whether having Lamb is preferable over having 4 or 5 players. "He's out there and he's more valuable than anybody else," Jones said on March 26, 2024, per Dallas Cowboys.com's Nick Harris. "But that valuable, to have to give up 4 or 5 players to have him, you have to get that reconciled. That's what I'm trying to say. It's a lot quicker and easier said than done. There is no need for the Cowboys to hit the panic button on Lamb this early in the offseason. Yet, the level of concern will ramp up as fall approaches if no new deal is signed." Cowboys predicted to add dynamic FBS leading playmaker. With Tony Pollard gone to Tennessee, the Dallas Cowboys need a running back, and most every mock draft under the sun has the team addressing the shortfall early in this month's NFL draft, generally in the 2nd round, where the likes of top backs Jonathan Brooks or Trey Benson can be had. But there will be players available beyond the top 2 or 3 backs in the pile, and it is worth remembering that Pollard himself was a 4th-round pick in 2019. According to a 7-round Cowboys mock draft from the site 24/7 Sports, the Cowboys will not only land Benson in the 3rd round, but will get another running back, Rasheen Ali of Marshall, in the 7th round. Here's what 24/7 wrote about Ali, who did visit the Cowboys and might not be available for Dallas in the 7th round. A rising name in this year's draft process is Rasheen Ali, whose Senior Bowl executive director Jim Nagy recently labeled a future Day 3 steal for whoever picks him. That team is the Cowboys in this mock, who are showing pre-draft interest in him. Cowboys in line for day 3, Steele Nagy, who has been an NFL scout for 18 years as well as running the Senior Bowl for the last 6 seasons, has indeed sounded off on Ali as a prospect before. Ali tore his biceps during the Senior Bowl, unfortunately, and did not participate in the combine, but he left an impression. Obviously, the Cowboys have an interest. One player who will be a day 3 steal for some team is Marshall RB Rasheen Ali. He continued to gush about Ali's speed and cutting ability, and finished by posting, "Last thing on Rasheen Ali. During its Senior Bowl week I always ask scouts and coaching friends who's impressing in interviews, and this year Ali's name consistently came up. Don't know full story, but teams love hearing about how Ali's dad raised him as competitive boxer and instilled toughness in him from young age." Rasheen Ali led college football in rushing in 2021. Ali is one of the more interesting players in the upcoming draft. He had a wildly successful sophomore year at Marshall, when he rushed for 1,401 yards, most in all of FBS, and 23 touchdowns in 2021. But he suffered a mysterious injury in 2022 and only came back to play the final 3 games of the year. He had a knee injury, it was later revealed, but the coach Charles Huff also said at the time that he was going to stay away from the team, until he was, mentally, physically and emotionally ready to return. Ali was healthy for 12 games in 2023, and ran for 1,135 yards and 15 touchdowns. In all, he played 34 games for the Herd and amassed 2,831 yards and 39 rushing touchdowns. Because of his elusiveness and his ability to make the Marshall offensive line look good, Huff once compared Ali to Lions great Barry Sanders. That certainly would get the Cowboys' attention. I don't know if Barry Sanders was a good back or if the Detroit Lions didn't have a good O-line, Huff said, per the Huntington Herald-Dispatch. You could make the argument either way, but Barry made stuff right. He made those guys look better. Ali made some stuff right for us last year, so obviously we looked better. Defenses planned differently. An 8-yard play somebody might get was a 20-yard play. Hated NFC rival could stick it to Cowboys with ex-Stars signing. It is a fairly significant surprise that, 4 weeks after the opening of NFL free agency, Cowboys cornerback Stephon Gilmore is still somehow unsigned. Few players have as sterling a resume as a defensive back as Gilmore, who has 5 Pro Bowl appearances, 2 first-team All-Pro selections, a Super Bowl ring and a Defensive Player of the Year award to his credit. Gilmore is 33 and has 12 years of NFL wear and tear on him, which includes a shoulder injury that he tried to play through back in January. He subsequently had surgery on the shoulder, though he should be ready for the start of the 2024 season. Despite all that, Gilmore has shown he can still be a shutdown corner. He allowed a passer rating of 82.7 when balls were thrown his way, which is the highest of his career but still a dependable number for a starting corner. As a team, the Cowboys allowed an 84.3 passer rating, which was 9th best in the NFL. But Gilmore remains a free agent. At Bleacher Report, though, they're advocating for that to change, and in the worst way possible for the Cowboys, with Gilmore going to the hated NFC East rival Eagles. Stephon Gilmore could help Eagles, 49ers. Signing Gilmore as a dig at the Cowboys was one of the prime benefits for the Eagles, according to writer Matt Holder. Here's how he sees the signing from the Eagles' perspective, as if the Cowboys-Eagles rivalry doesn't have enough drama already. Beyond sticking it to their division rivals, cornerback was a weak spot for the Eagles last year as Darius Slay battled injuries and James Bradberry showed signs of regression. While signing Gilmore won't make the position group any younger, he'd give Philadelphia another veteran option to turn to in case Slay struggles to stay healthy again or Bradberry doesn't return to his 2022 form. It would be ideal if Gilmore found a home in the AFC among the many teams that need a cornerback. The Raiders would be ideal, a team that could use Gilmore and will not be facing the Cowboys in 2024. The other team Holder has potentially landing Gilmore is only slightly more offensive than the Eagles, though. The 49ers, where Gilmore could presumably chase the Super Bowl ring he was not able to get in Dallas. Cowboys set with starting CBs. Of course, Gilmore would be welcomed back to Dallas by fans and coaches alike, except that it appears that the Cowboys have no plans to bring him back. Third-year corner Darren Bland's breakthrough season and the impending return of Trevon Diggs from his ACL injury likely will fill the starting roles at the corners in Dallas, though the team certainly could use some depth at the position. Gilmore will be a bargain for whomever winds up signing him. He is coming off a contract in which he earned $20 million over 2 years, originally signed by the Colts in 2022. According to Spotrac, he has a market value of $11.4 million on a one-year deal. Given his age, that makes some sense. Pro Football Focus projects a Gilmore deal at 1 year, $10 million. The site summed up his free agent credentials. Gilmore's trade from the Indianapolis Colts to the Dallas Cowboys this offseason got him back to playing contending football, and he hasn't skipped a beat at any point as he's moved around over the past few years. Gilmore still thrives in single coverage and can jostle with the more physical receivers who play through contact, timing his leap well on contested catches and jumping routes with top-end play recognition.